Hello, good day everyone. So now we're going to discuss problems related to parallel lines and perpendicular lines. So if you can recall, this is one of the problems that we already solved during our live session, but I want to explain this to you again, just to be clear on this one before we proceed with another problem related to perpendicular lines and parallel lines. Okay, so it says here that if line through x minus x and negative 3 and 3 1 is perpendicular to line x negative 3 and negative 1 negative 2, we have to find x. So it's already given here that the two lines are perpendicular to each other. It means that we're going to use this formula, okay, because if you multiply the slope of the two perpendicular lines, that is equivalent to negative 1, since they are the reciprocal of each other. So first thing to do is to find the slope of the first line. So our first line is at x negative 3 and 3 1. So let's find the slope first. So it will become negative 3 minus 1 and x minus 3. So if you notice, this is y sub 1 minus y sub 2. Anyway, you can do that here even if we do it like x sub 2 or y sub 2 minus y sub 1. We're going to come up with the same answer. Okay, so let's continue. So this is negative 3 minus 1. So that will be negative 4 over x minus 3. So we do this to avoid more complications, because if we're going to do this like we always do, so let's say y sub 2 minus y sub 1, so it will become y sub 2 1 minus y sub 1 negative 3 and 3 minus x, right? So it will become plus plus, so 4 over 3 minus x. So to fix this, x 3 minus x, so we have to multiply all by negative 1. So it will become negative 4 over, this will become negative 3 and positive x, or x minus 3. Okay, so it's the same with this one. Okay, so this is much simpler, since this is also possible, that is y sub 1 minus y sub 2 instead of y sub 2 minus y sub 1. Okay, so we just proved that any equation, you can use any equation for as long as you're going to arrive at the same answer. Okay, so this is the slope of the first line, m sub 1, and for the slope of the second line, so the second line is at x negative 3 and negative 1 negative 2. So same procedure, negative 3 minus negative 2, x minus negative 1. So m sub 2 equals to, this will become plus 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 plus, so negative 1 over x plus 1. So this is the slope of the second line. Okay, so once you have the slope of the first line and the second line, and it is stated here that they are perpendicular to each other, so to find x, all you need to do is to use the formula m sub 1 times m sub 2 equals to negative 1. So our m sub 1 is negative 4 over x minus 3 over x minus 3, and our x sub 2 is negative 1 x plus 1 equals to negative 1. So since this is multiplication, we can multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. So negative 4 times negative 1 will give us positive 4. And this is binomial to binomial. So first terms, x times x, x squared. Outer term, x times 1, positive x. Inner terms, negative 3 times x, negative 3x. And last term, negative 3 times 1, that is negative 3. Okay? So this is also equal to 4 over, let's combine similar terms, x minus 3x. So it will become x squared minus 2x minus 3. Okay, so this is not yet the answer because our task is to find x. Okay, so we have now 4 over x squared minus 2x minus 3 equals to 1. Equals to negative 1. So all you need to do is to put a denominator here, then cross multiply. So 1 times 4, 4 equals to 1 times negative 2, x squared, negative x squared. 1 times negative 2x, positive 2x. Negative 1 times negative 3, that is positive 3. Then we're going to equate this to 0. So let's move all the numbers and letters on the right side. Let's move it on the left side of the equation because we're trying to equate this to 0. So negative x squared will become positive x squared. Positive 2x will become negative 2x. Positive 3 will become negative 3. And we'll just copy positive 4 equals to 0. Then combine similar terms. So we have x squared minus 2x. Then negative 3 plus 4, that will give us positive 1 equals to 0. Okay, so now we have a trinomial, x squared minus 2x plus 1. Okay, x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals to 0. How do we find x in this? So let's find the factors of this trinomial. So find the factors of the first term, x squared, so that is x times x. Factors of the last term, that is 1 times 1, nothing else, right? Then we're going to make the factors of the last term the middle term. So we have the middle term negative 2. So to make this negative 2, this must be negative and this one is also negative, so that when you add this, negative 1 plus negative 1, that will be negative 2. Okay, so let's rewrite the factors. So we have x times x, negative 1 times negative 1. If you want to check if you got the correct factors, you can multiply this. X times x, x squared. X times negative 1, negative x. Negative 1 times x, negative x. Negative 1 times negative 1, positive 1. Then combine this. So that will be x squared. Negative x plus negative x, negative 2x plus 1. So we come up with this one, the original equation, x squared minus 2x plus 1. So that means our factors are correct. Okay, so the factors are x minus 1 times x minus 1. So how can we get x? So let's just get one factor, then equate that to 0. So transpose this to the other side, it will become positive 1. So therefore x equals to 1. Since we both have x minus 1, so still the value will still be positive 1. So for this problem, this is the answer. X equals to positive 1. Okay. So next, we're going to solve another problem related to parallel lines and perpendicular lines. So we have if the line through x5 and 4, 3 is parallel to a line with slope 3, find x. So this problem, we're going to find x again. So this is somewhat similar to the first problem, but on this one, it is stated here that the two lines are parallel to each other. So it means that we're going to use the equation m sub 1 equals to m sub 2. Okay, so the first thing to do is to get the slope. Get the slope of the two lines. So for the first line, we have x 5 and 4, 3. So this one, we're going to get the slope of these 2 points here. So that will be m sub 1 equals to 5 minus 3 over x minus 4. So the slope is equal to 5 minus 3, 2 over x minus 4. So this is the slope of the first line. Now, it is stated here that the slope of the second line is 3. So there's no need to compute because the slope of the second line is already given, and that is equal to 3. Now our goal is to find x. So we just have to equate this because they are parallel. Therefore, the slope of line 1 equals to the slope of line 2. So you just substitute the slope of line 1, that is 2 over x minus 4, equals to the slope of the second line, that is 3. So to solve this, just put a denominator upon, then cross multiply. 1 times 2, 2, then 3 times x, 3x, 3 times negative 4, negative 12. Then we want to get x, so we have to put this on the other side of the equation, so it will become positive 12 plus 2 equals to 3x. 12 plus 2, that is 14, equals to 3x. Then divide both by 3 to cancel this. So therefore x equals to 14 over 3. Okay. So the answer for this problem here is 14 over 3. Okay. Again, if you see problem like this, if the line through x 5 and 4, 3 is parallel to a line with slope 3, so just find the keywords. The keyword here is parallel, so we have to use m sub 1 equals to m sub 2. And to use this, you need to find the slope of the first line that passed through x5 and 4, 3. Then, slope of the second line is already given, and that is 3. So, that's what we did. We find the slope of the first line, and we got 2 over x minus 4, and the slope of the second line, which is already given, and that is 3. Then we equate this, substitute m sub 1, so that is 2 over x minus 4 equals to the slope of the second line, which is 3. So since we have a fraction on the left side, we put denominator 1 to 3 to make it a fraction, then cross multiply. So 1 times 2, 2, then 3 times x, 3x, 3 times negative 4, negative 12. Then we just get x by transposing negative 12 to the other side, so it becomes positive 12. So positive 12 plus 2 equals to 3x. 12 plus 2 equals to 14. Then divide both by 3 to cancel 3. So therefore x equals to 14 over 3. Okay, so that's for this problem. And we're going to solve another. So this one, the problem here is if the line through x5 and 4, 3 is perpendicular to a line with slope 3. Find x again. Okay, so let's find the keyword here. The keyword is perpendicular. So it means we're going to use the equation m sub 1 times m sub 2 equals to negative 1. Okay, so to use this, we have to find the slope of the first line and the slope of the second line. So the points here are given. For the first line, we have x5 and 4, 3. So let's find the slope. So that is 5 minus 3 over x minus 4. So the slope of line 1 is 2 over x minus 4. For the slope of the line 2, it's already given here. It's 3. So therefore, we're going to use m sub 1 times m sub 2 equals to negative 1. Substitute m sub 1 is 2 over x minus 4. 2 over x minus 4 multiplied by the slope of line 2, which is 3, equals to, so this is negative 1. Let's put the denominator of 1. So 2 times 3 is 6 over x minus 4 equals to negative 1. So let's make this a fraction by putting a denominator of 1, then cross multiply. 6 times 1, 6 equals to negative 1 times x minus 4, negative 1 times x, negative 1 times negative 4, positive 4. Okay. Then we want to find x, so we transpose x on the other side to make it positive. So it will become x, and we transpose this on the other side so it will become negative. So copy 4, then 6 will become negative 6. So x equals to 4 minus 6, negative 2. So therefore x equals to negative 2. Okay. So let's recall this problem. If the line through x5 and 4, 3 is perpendicular to a line with slope 3, find x. So the magic word or the keyword here is the word perpendicular. So it will give you a clue that what you're going to use is this formula, m sub 1 times m sub 2 equals to negative 1. To use this, you need to find the slope of the first line and the slope of the second line. So to find the slope of the first line, we use the given here, x5 and 4, 3. These are the points of the line 1. So 5 minus 3 x sub 1, y sub 1 minus y sub 2, then x minus 4 x sub 1 minus x sub 2. So 5 minus 3 equals to 2. X minus 4 copy. So this is the slope of line 1, 2 over x minus 4. For line 2, it's already given here. Perpendicular to a line with slope 3. So that means the slope of line 2 equals to 3. Then substitute, m sub 1 equals to 2 over x minus 4. M sub 2 is 3. Just to make them both fraction, we put denominator 1. So 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times x minus 4, x minus 4 equals to negative 1. So to make this fraction, let's put the denominator of 1. Then cross multiply, 6 times 1, 6. Then negative 1 times x equals to negative x. Then negative 1 times negative 4, positive 4. We transpose negative x on the other side, so it becomes positive. Then transpose 6, it becomes negative. Then just copy 4. So x equals to 4 minus 6, negative 2. Okay, so that's how we get x. Okay, so these are just some of the problems related to parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Next meeting, we're going to have a new topic. So if you look at your book, the next topic here is angle from one line to another. But then it requires knowledge from trigonometry, wherein you're going to take up trigonometry when you are in grade 12. When you become a grade 12, that will be your math trigonometry. So therefore, we just skip this because the prerequisite skill here is trigonometry. So on our next meeting, we're going to proceed with page 36, that is graphs and points of intersection. Okay, so I hope everything is clear now about identifying whether the lines are parallel, coincident, perpendicular, or none of those, and how to solve for x given two slopes and given that the conditions of the lines, whether they are parallel or perpendicular. Okay, so I think that's it for today. I hope you learned something new. If you have questions, you can message me in Kakao. Okay, So our next meeting will be graphs and points of intersection. That is on page 36. Like the solutions here are quite long. So prepare yourselves, okay? So that's all for today. Bye everyone.